What's up, my cheery little cherry bakewells? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a quick look at the two new weapons released with the Empyrean update, the Quellor as well as the Pennant. But before we do, I do have a little bit of a PSA. Alrighty, so I'm actually in the process of sorting out my feelings for an upcoming Railjack review. However, I did run into something that I felt needed to be addressed ASAP. Now, I actually discovered this on stream and I was like, wait, what is going on here? Then more recently, I actually reread the hotfix patch notes and nowhere is it mentioned in there. Now, for those of you guys who have been having trouble accumulating resources when it comes to your Railjack missions, there might be a bug or a feature. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was misimplemented. But one of the things that I want to point out is as you go through your Railjack missions, you're actually going to be collecting things like carbides, copper nicks, the cubic diodes, and the pustrels. Well, what ended up happening is at the end of the mission, I noticed that I wasn't getting as many of these resources as I should. Well, it's actually because of the fact that I wasn't going through before the end of the mission and hitting refine. And when I say before the end of the mission, I mean like returning back to your dojo or something along those lines. I suggest hitting refine before you start your next mission each and every single time to make sure that you get all of these resources. Otherwise, you will actually just completely lose all of them. Now, sometimes you are rewarded them at the end of your missions, like just a couple, but from the way that the patch notes were worded, they made it seem like you would get all of these leftover items just credited directly to you, but that's not what I was finding when I was playing, and I was playing this through several hotfixes, and including today, I was finding that they weren't transferring over. So again, not sure if it's a bug or if they're requiring you to refine these specific items each and every time. Just keep in mind, like I stated, you should refine these items at the end of your mission, because what ends up happening is it empties out all of these items in your forge and puts it into your inventory. So if you're doing it mid-mission and you end up needing more Revelite for ship repairs and you've emptied it all out, you won't have any resources for you to craft on the go. So like I said, I highly suggest that you do this at the end of your mission, or if you can stop mid-mission between kind of like battles, craft up what you need to craft up and then refine and then go back into battle, go ahead and do that. But make sure that at some point before you start your next mission that you do refine these resources. Otherwise, you are shit out of luck and these resources are required for you to upgrade certain parts of your ship. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that wasn't insanely repetitive, but that is something that I wanted to address ASAP because I know that some of you guys are out there on your grind. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump back into the review. Now, the Quellor as well as the Pennant's blueprints can be found on invading Grineer galleons during Railjack missions. Just do be aware that the Quellor requires Mastery Rank 12 to craft, while the Pennant only requires Mastery Rank 7. However, if you don't want to deal with any form of RNG because, dear Lord, sweet baby Jesus, Empyrean already has enough as it is, you can always pick them up in the market pre-built along with a weapon slot and catalyst for 240 for the Quellor, but 275 for the Pennant. However, if you got some money to burn, you can always pick them both up in the Empyrean Grand Bundle, which includes those two weapons, a really sick freaking pistol skin, as well as a Parazon skin and a bunch of other accessories for 820 plat. Okay, so if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have been playing a whole lot of Warframe today. 8 hours on Empyrean alone live on stream, and then of course we had a little bit more afterwards just in my own private time. So do pardon me if I treat this a little bit more casually than normal. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the Quellor. The Quellor was a standard issue Dax Railjack cruise of the old war dating back to the earliest pre-Sigma craft. A rapid-fire assault rifle with a hefty magazine size, the Quellor is an all-around workhorse, also capable of a large short-range cryo blasts. Now, I haven't tested the range itself. It does show the fall off there, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that live as we do everything. But it does have two different fire modes, which is the auto. This one has a low critical chance, but a higher status chance. So 12% critical, and a 1.6 times critical multiplier, which makes me sad because I think I might have fucked up on the build a little bit on this, but we'll take a look at that in a second. But it it does have a 38% status chance. Now, as you can see, the IPS is actually IPSC, IPSC, which includes impact, puncture, slash, and cold as a bonus, with puncture leading the pack and then cold following right afterwards. Now, as you can see, it has a charge attack which you can access by using your secondary fire. This is going to switch things up a little bit, and you're going to have more of a critical chance and then less of a status chance. So critical jumps up to 40% with a 2.2 times critical multiplier. Now I don't feel so bad. My tired brain is not processing as well as usual. And then the status drops down to 10%. Now, as you can see, this actually drops off some of the IPS. Now it's just IC, but it's icy because it's impact and cold. Get it? It's like icy. Okay, it's late. So let's go ahead and equip this. Now, the interesting thing about it is, as I was kind of playing around, I realized we already have a weapon that's very similar to the way that this thing plays. And I'm going to say it's kind of like the Tenora. It is definitely kind of like the Tenora. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Corrupted Bombard. As you can see, that hefty ammo capacity for the mag is 300. Now, I'm actually just going to go in with just standard shots. And as you can see, we've got a ton of status flying through on this baby. And then I'm going to hit the alternate fire, and boom! Jutsi, right? Now, one of the things that I wanted to note is that with the alternate fire, it actually consumes 75 ammo per shot. 75. Am I crazy? Was that 75? That did knock out 75, right? Yep, 75 ammo per shot. So it's pretty dang like full. Keep in mind that what's going to end up happening a lot of the times is you're going to end up going through a lot of your magazine, and the reload speed on this, what is the reload speed? Because it's not fantastic. The reload speed on this baby is 4 seconds. Yep, I knew it was painful, and it's pretty freaking painful. So keep that in mind, because sometimes you're going to end up trying to fire off the charge blast, and you're going to realize the fact that, oh shit, I'm going to have to spend 4 seconds reloading, which is kind of painful. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and mark our little baby boy and see how far away we can get with this. So as you can see right now, let's go 20 meters. And we can still hit him from 20 meters, but as you can see, the drop-off is not very nice whatsoever. 30 meters? Yeah, nothing at 30 meters. What about 25 meters? Nothing at 25 meters, so maybe let's hit it 22 meters. So I think anything before 25 meters is going to be your cutoff point to hit enemies with it. I do want to make note that the blast is actually a little bit of a line. It's got some girth to it. So think like a little occucore thickness, because you'll be able to hit multiple enemies at once. In fact, if we can get like a visual on that, that would be kind of awesome. Let's go ahead and like pull out like 6 in a row. Let's give that a little simulation right over here so that you can kind of see. I don't think like straight down the line, I don't think it's going to hit. Oh, well, you can see the girth right there. See, so I'm going to try to aim down the middle. And as you can see, it kind of has a little bit of girth to the beam in and of itself. So very similar to the Sonora, like I was saying earlier, because of the fact that this thing has a good amount of status on the auto fire. What I've actually paired it up with is, of course, corrosive, to kind of wear down the enemy armor or wear down enemy defenses. Of course, you can get creative with this depending on the enemy type that you are facing. He should not be paused, my bad. And kind of mix it up for there. Of course, I have tailored this specifically to what we are fighting at this very moment in time, which of course is a heavy bombard. So again, we're going to go ahead and strip off some of that armor. Then once we get about there, we can go ahead and finish him off like that. Easy peasy. Also, the critical shot works really nicely against low armored targets or no armored targets, kind of like the infested. So for Loki, you could drop like a decoy down, everything will congregate, and then boom, you can hit them with a big old shot. Let's take a look at the build that I am currently running at this very moment. So as you can see right here, I'm actually running Vigilante Armaments, which I love the multi-shot for, and Vigilante Fervor. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out is it's 98.9 chance for status. I didn't want to put in another status elemental mod, mainly because of the fact that this is a rifle. You're gonna get a lot of status hits with that. And notice that I put in Vigilante Fervor instead of, what is it called, Prime Shred, and that's because I figured I would play off the whole Vigilante thing just a little bit more. You could totally put Prime Shred in there if you want. I just ended up feeling like going along with that. Again, this is more with a little bit of casual play. I did try this out with Viral, and I went ahead and pumped up some of the slash to see if it would take. It didn't feel that great, if I'm just going to be completely honest with you. So me personally, I wouldn't suggest it. But listen, whatever you decide to do with your build is whatever you decide to do with your build. So we're going to go ahead and move on and take a look at the Pennant real quick. So as you can see, the steel flag of old war Railjack crews, the Pennant was invaluable in repelling borders. With each heavy attack kill, the Pennant's speed attack increases. The Pennant's speed of attack increases. Couldn't they just say attack speed increases? Okay, listen. It's late. I'm tired. As you can see, the attack speed on this thing is pretty low. The critical chance and critical multiplier are fairly high, though. We have 32% and a 2.4 times critical multiplier. Nice and juicy. Now, the status chance is 10%, and as you can see right here, we do have IPS with Puncture leading the pack. However, what's looking really big is the heavy attacks. The heavy attacks are looking pretty damn juicy, so I figured that we would go ahead and kind of do a heavy attack build, and it looked pretty damn good. So let's go ahead and jump on in with the Pennant. The model on this thing is absolutely beautiful. It would also be handy if we actually spawned an enemy. So let's go ahead and jump on in, and as you can see, I do have some base combo in there from the build that I'm using, and I'm just going to go in with a heavy attack. And as you can see right here, I believe it's a forced slash proc on the heavy attack. It's just gonna eat away with him. I did put viral on this build, and occasionally you'll get a viral proc at the same time, and it's kind of sickening. But as you can see here, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of all of the one-hit kill like narratives that kind of like go around with this stuff. Because yeah, you did one heavy attack, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a one-hit kill if you're letting them bleed out. However, if we are talking about bleed outs, this thing, if you get lucky with a viral proc, you'll usually get a quote-unquote one-hit kill. However, this tends to be 2 charge attacks, and because of the fact that we do have a little bit of some attack speed increase on this, the charge attack is actually not that long. So we could literally go like that, and then we could just have him bleed out really quickly. It's actually kind of nice, especially because this weapon has such large base damage, so when you pair that up with all of the slash in there, it's kind of really juicy, and I kind of love it. I love how, like, I feel like he's getting hit with his own rockets, which kind of entertained me. So that's gonna be the end of that. Let's go take a look at the build. I'm not a 100% expert on the charge up builds, but this is what I'm currently using, and I'm enjoying it. And to be honest with you, if it kills like a 165 bombard really for standard play, we're not seeing much of that anyway, so let this be what it is. Again, I could have put in the sacrificial pressure, not sacrificial steel is what I meant. Wait. No, I don't have space for it. That's why. And I didn't want to bother with trying to put more mods on this at the moment. Maybe in the future. Then I went in with, you know, all of the critical mods. We went in with the corrupt charge, which gives you initial combo 30%. So you'll always basically have a 2 times critical thing on there, or 2 times, not 2 times critical, 2 times combo on there. And then we've got killing blow for the heavy melee attack damage. So this will actually be even juicier when you put sacrificial steel on, which I'm sure you guys will do. There's also a little viral just in case we're playing the luck game, but even there it's only sitting at 22% status. You could go ahead and switch it up any way that you feel like. In fact, you could probably go in, let's just do this real quick. I really don't feel like doing it, but we could go ahead and toss in, let's just do a little, what's the word I want to say? A little experimente. We'll do critical damage. And then we'll go in with Spoiled Strike. Spoiled Strike, yes. I'm not really banking too highly on Blood Rush on this, because we're not going to be able to keep up a high critical a high critical, not critical chance, but combo counter anyway. But let's go ahead and give this a shot because we weren't really guaranteed too many, what is it called? We weren't really guaranteed too many, what is it called? One hit kill. One hit KO. Look at that. Doesn't seem super duper impressive to me, but it is one of those ones where you're like, alright, we can call this a one-hit kill weapon because of the fact that we forced the slash proc and we let him bleed out. Not necessarily the game that I like to play, but I mean, it is effective. So that's the end of that. Let me know how you feel about both of these weapons. Do you think that the Pennant is as gorgeous as I think it is? Even the Quellor is pretty nice too. Let me know how you feel about both of these down in the comments below. And that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. My ass needs to go to bed because we getting up in the morning and we doing more Railjack. So be sure to check me over on twitch.tv/agayGuyPlays2 if you want to take part in any of that. Regardless, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!